Hi, my name is Chris Talon and welcome to the Band in a Bedroom channel. Today I'm going to break down what an audio interface is, what one does, and if you even need one. And by the end of this video I hope I can answer all those questions and I'll also show you the interface that I currently use. Alright, so let's start with what an interface is. Typically it's going to be this little console that sits on your desk, and generally it'll have two XLR inputs along with a set of 1/4-inch jacks for you to plug in maybe like a guitar cable or a keyboard cable or something like that. And then that's fed into your computer via USB, and then from there you're able to adjust the sound or the music however you want. And on the back of the device you'll be able to actually send it. It'll have an output, typically two, left and right, and you can send it out to an external mixer, maybe if you want to adjust your sounds a little bit further there on a separate piece of hardware. Or maybe you got something going on where you got like a monitor mix, which that's how I record my music. I send it out into monitors, and then I mix my music from there. And that's typically that's pretty standard. It's kind of like what a lot of musicians that I talk to today, how they record their music too. So it's nothing too crazy. This is probably something you've already heard before. This might be a review for some of you guys. If it's not though, and if you guys have any questions, let me know in the comment section down below. I'd love to answer anything you guys may have. But anyways, that's what an audio interface is, and I'll show you what I'm working with. I'm working with a Scarlet 2i2, and I'll show you kind of what that is. But before I show you that, I want to clarify that either it doesn't really matter what interface you get. The first thing that's going to matter is step one, which is what type of connection does your computer have. And this is where I kind of overlooked this. When I was first looking at what interface to get, I wasn't sure where to start. And really, it matters on. It's pretty simple. I don't know why I didn't think of this, but it's what can your computer handle, or what kind of connections does it have. I use a PC. I don't use a Mac, so it's not the fastest computer in the world. So I needed something that I can afford and something that was good enough to get me going. The Scarlet 2i2 I thought was a great choice for me, and like I said, I'm gonna show you that in just a second. But your computer might have something like the connections for FireWire, which it's going away. It's not so current today in the music industry world as we know it, but your computer might have that. Some interfaces still have FireWire connectability, or I don't know if that's a word. I think it is. And or maybe if you do have a Mac, your computer probably has Thunderbolt connections to where that's, from what I hear, you're not going to have any latency issues with that. But I don't want you to get into this weird mindset to where you think you need a Mac. There's this myth that's kind of like, oh, I need the Apple computer, or I need an iMac to record, or the new Mac Air. And you don't need any of that, really. What you need, if you want to record music straight into a computer, is you just need a computer, man. You don't need any specific type. You just need one that's good enough to do it. That's what I got. I got a computer that's good enough to record, and I don't need Thunderbolt connections to do so. So I hope that kind of answers what an audio interface is. If you guys have any questions, like I've mentioned before, just leave them down in the comment section. I promise I'll get back to you guys. Let me show you now what interface I'm using, or what mine actually looks like. Alright, everybody say hello to the Scarlet 2i2 by Focusrite. This is the interface that I happen to use, and it works great for me. Now the reason it works great for me is because, like I mentioned before, my computer has the connectivity for USB, which if you were to look at the back here, that's where I have the USB plugged in, and then that just goes down to my computer, and so on and so forth. But let's put this back in position, and I'll show you some of the specs and some of the inputs and the outputs. So, as I mentioned, it has USB connectivity. It goes into my desktop. And what's cool about this one is, and this might vary depending on what you want to do, but I can record up to 2 things at the same time on here. So if I want to record guitar and vocals, or if I want to record like, you know, guitar and bass, or guitar and keyboard, whatever, it doesn't matter. I can record up to 2 things at the same time, which is great for me. The number of preamps is, it comes with 2, and phantom power accessibility, of course it has that. You just click this little button right here and it gives you that option. What comes next is, like I mentioned, it has 2 XLR inputs. If I was to unplug my mic, which I don't want to right now, that's how we're recording our vocals, but I would show you that this looks just like that. And as you can see, what's pretty neat about this is there's a green LED display that lights up whenever there's signal being fed into the interface. And if I was to have it clip, it would turn red, which I'll clap right now and it'll show you that. You see how it turned red real quick right there? That's pretty neat. I like interfaces and different consoles that show you right off the bat when you're clipping, because then you can adjust, you know, you would adjust this basically, or you know, whatever input you're going into to accommodate for the loudness. Now for requirements as of what type of Mac you would need Mac OS 10.10 or later. If you're going to run off a PC, you need Windows 8.1 or later, which I'm pretty sure you're going to have that nowadays, unless you're like me and was running off this old Dell laptop, like I've mentioned before, with this cracked screen. I'm gonna, like I said, I'm gonna look up that picture one of these days, and show you guys exactly what I was messing with. But yeah, bus power, of course, USB supply, like I mentioned. It's about 2 inches tall. And it's about 6 inches, I think, wide. So it doesn't take up much room sitting on your desk. I don't have that big of a desk, and it doesn't take up much room at all. And it weighs about 2 pounds too, which it doesn't really matter, but it's not gonna you know, fall off my desk if I have it leaning off, or you know, and it has enough weight to where if I have stuff plugged into it, it'll sit just fine, and it won't be moving around on the desk based off of too many things plugged into it. You're probably wondering what some of these switches are down here. Basically, it just gives you the accessibility if you want to run line straight in, such as maybe you're taking a signal from an aux or from somebody's phone, and you want to record that straight into your computer. You could do so, and you would have that online. If you're recording an instrument, you would just switch that over then, and that gives you the access on both inputs right here. You could actually switch that on this one as well. Direct monitor, which is pretty cool. You can hear basically your direct monitor mix if you have this on, which I never do. I always leave that off, and then you can actually adjust your monitor levels from right here. This big nice knob. Actually, it sits really nice. It turns really smoothly. It feels good. This knob right here is how you adjust your headphone mix. And if you look to the back, let's try to do this. There's gonna be where I feed out to my monitors, which I don't have plugged in, just so I could show you the back of this thing real quick. And yeah, that's the Scarlet 2i2. Let's say though you were gonna use the Scarlet 2i2 to record maybe a live drum set, right? So you would need, you know, maybe you want 4 mics running into the interface. You would need to get an interface then that would just have 4 inputs. Or maybe you want 8 inputs, you would just get one that accommodates for 8 inputs. So on and so forth. Like I mentioned, mine, I don't really need much more than just 2 going straight in at the moment. Eventually I might upgrade, but for right now, this worked great for me. And yeah, that's the Scarlet 2i2. So if you guys have any questions, let me know down in the comments below. I'd love to answer anything you guys might have. If you guys, I'd love to hear what kind of interfaces you guys use. Maybe you guys have a recommendation of an interface that beats my Scarlet 2i2, which there's a lot out there in the market. But like I said, it just really depends on whatever you really need and what your computer can handle at the moment. So that being said, I'll be here next time to make another video for you guys, alright? So that being said, thank you guys for tuning in to another episode of Band in a Bedroom. My name's Chris Hallinan. Make sure if you haven't done so already, hit the subscribe button. I'm going to be making more videos like this in the near future. So yeah, thank you.